Deep in the mountains, secret ninja academies train our future protectors. Ancient scrolls told of 3 who would be chosen above the others. 3 who would become Go Power Rangers, Go Ninja Storm, let's go! Alright there guys, and welcome back to another video. And for the first time in over half a year, we are indeed returning to the wacky world of Power Rangers, that's right. So far on the channel we have covered 1998's Power Rangers in Space and 2001's Power Rangers Time Force. Today, if you couldn't tell by the intro, we are tackling 2003's Power Rangers Ninja Storm. The first Power Rangers series to be created by Disney after the rights to Power Rangers were sold from Saban to Disney at the end of 2002. So Disney got hard at work continuing the Power Rangers story after it was supposed to end at Wild Force, but it was also supposed to end at In Space, and neither happened. The series only just ended a couple of years ago. So let's get into it. I'll introduce you to the Rangers. So our main 3 Rangers are Red Ranger Shane, played by Puah Magasiva, Blue Ranger Tori, played by Sally Martin, the first female Blue Power Ranger ever to this point, and Yellow Ranger Dustin, played by Glenn McMillan. Now, we do have to start off with a little bit of a sad note, because in 2018, Puah Magasiva, who played Shane, sadly took his own life in 2018, which is really sad, isn't it? Of course, that's supposedly what Jason David Frank did back in 2022 as well. It's really sad, isn't it? But we had to get the sad note out of the way straight away. Now, the next ones we have those are our three main Rangers. But as you can see on the thumbnail, there's 3 more Rangers. We have the Navy and Crimson Thunder Rangers. The Navy one is Blake, played by Hogito Vargas Jr., and the Crimson one is Hunter, played by Adam Tvomine. And the Green Ranger is the Green Samurai Ranger, Cam, played by Jason Chan. So, ninjas are a very big the overall biggest theme throughout Power Rangers Ninja Storm. That's why ninja is in the name. And it seemed ninja media was fairly popular in the early 2000s. I mean, Naruto began airing in 2002, and then this show aired in 2003. But with our Ranger heroes, we also have Konoi Sensei, who for the whole season pretty much is a guinea pig. He gets turned into a guinea pig right at the beginning of the the season, and he stays a guinea pig all throughout the whole all the way through until the end, where he finally becomes a human again. And Konoi Guinea Pig Sensei is voiced by Grant McFarlane. And what's funny is, the main villain of Ninja Storm, who's called Lothar, is also played by Grant McFarlane. So we have the Ranger's mentor and the main villain of the season being played by the same person. I'm pretty sure that was the first time that had ever happened before. And he has some henchmen of his own. He has his 2 main generals, Chudo and Zergain, and his 2 nieces, Capri and Mara, who are the comic relief villains of the story, because every Power Ranger season needs to have some sort of comic relief villains, and that's what Capri and Mara are used for. So now let's get into some of the storylines that go through. The way Shane, Tori and Dustin become Rangers is because they were late to their Ninja Academy class one day, but an ancient scroll that's only shown right at the end foretold that future, that those 3 were going to be late specifically to become Rangers. And the morphing sequence for Ninja Storm, it's quite good. I really like it. They say Ninja Storm Ranger form, ha! The Thunder Rangers say Thunderstorm Ranger form, and Cam says Samurai Storm Ranger form. So for the first time since the original Mighty Morphin, 3 different phrases are used throughout the season to morph. So, when the Thunder Rangers are introduced, they're actually introduced as villains, not heroes. And then later on, they become villains again because they were mind controlled by Lothar to think that the Rangers were the ones that kidnapped all the Thunder ninjas from the academy and destroyed Blake and Hunter's parents, when actually it was Lothar that did all that. And funnily enough, Lothar is actually the brother of Kanoi Sensei, the Rangers' mentor. So the Rangers have to fight against the Thunder Rangers, that was a four-parter. The first time, I think, ever in Power Rangers where we'd actually had a single storyline stretch 4 episodes long. 3 was the previous longest, and they decided to make a 4-parter for this one. The Rangers, of course, have their own Zords and then Megazord, as is custom in Power Rangers. And the villain always has some way of making the monster that the Rangers just defeated turn giant. This time round, in Ninja Storm, we have the Scroll of Empowerment, as it's called, where Lothar has this remote that he can control many things with, like he can spawn in the foot soldiers of the season, which are called Calzacs, or he can call in the Scroll of Empowerment, which makes the monster that Rangers just defeated into a giant. But the Rangers do manage to defeat the Thunder Rangers and turn them back into their good selves and realise that Lothar was the one that did all this, not the Rangers. And who would I say I like the most out of them? I'm actually not quite sure which Ranger, because I like all of the Rangers in this series. So I don't really think I really have a favourite, because I just like all of them. So yeah, for the first time, I'm not going to do a quick ranking of each of the Rangers, because I don't really have one. The next storyline I want to talk about is Hunter becoming like this father figure for this little kid for some reason. And basically, Capri and Mara, in their infinite wisdom, sell off the PAM, which is the remote that Lothar uses to call in all the different things. They end up selling it off, and this little kid gets a hold of it, and he keeps pressing buttons. He thinks it's a game, but when he presses the buttons, nothing happens for him. But it's like Calzacs are being spawned, and then being despawned back to Lothar's ship, which keeps happening over and over until the Calzacs end up in the kid's bedroom, so Hunter has to come in and save him. It's funny because like Hunter spends the first half of the episode trying to get through to this kid about anything, and he just can't, until martial arts is brought into the question. And finally Hunter and the little kid finally found something they both enjoy. I thought it was like really kind of like a really wholesome episode, because like Hunter and Blake don't have parents anymore. Their parents were defeated by Lothar. So when Lothar attacked the Thunder Ninja Academy, so they don't really have those types of figures in their life. The closest thing they do have to those figures is Kanoi Sensei, and he's a freaking guinea pig. But I really did like it. It was a very wholesome episode, and showed sort of like the type of like father figure / big brother figure Hunter can be. I mean, he is literally a big brother anyway, because he's Blake's big brother. Oh, and something I probably should have mentioned a bit earlier. The location for this season is called Blue Bay Harbor. We had Angel Grove in the OG Power Ranger seasons. Now we have Blue Bay Harbor. So Hunter does save the kid and defeats the monsters, as the Rangers get more upgrades and powers to the Megazord as the season goes on, as Cam, he's basically like the brains behind the whole Ranger operation. He's at their headquarters called Ninja Ops. He's the one that sends the Megazords down to the Rangers when need be. But it gets to a point where he doesn't just want to be sitting in the sidelines and watching the Rangers. He wants to get involved in the action himself. And the Rangers come across a monster that they actually cannot defeat. So Cam does something that his father, for the most part, prevented him from doing. But Cam tells his dad, "This is the only way I can save them." He grabs a scroll that can travel him back in time, and it does. He then meets his mother and father when they were a lot younger in the old ninja academy, back when Kanoi Sensei was just training to be a ninja. And it's funny because he gets his ass kicked by a new trainee ranger, which turns out to be Miko, Cam's mother. Obviously, Cam cannot tell Kanoi or Miko who he is, because in this time, Cam doesn't exist, because Kanoi and Miko haven't even got together yet, so Cam doesn't even exist in this timeline. So he can't tell them who he actually is and that he's their son. But Miko has this green amulet called a samurai amulet that she said that's been passed down in her family for generations, and she doesn't want anyone touching it. So she tries to keep it away, but Kanoi Sensei's brother, who of course becomes Lothor, is always looking to harness more. He wants power for himself. Like, the dark energy within him was there from the very beginning. And after he's sent away by the Ninja Academy Sensei of that time, that's when he becomes Lothor. But the green samurai amulet starts glowing when Cam goes near it. So even though Miko said it's a very precious artifact that's been passed down in her family for generations, she gives it to Cam because he is now the rightful owner. Little does she know, she's still passing it down to through her family generations. She just doesn't know that yet because Cam doesn't exist yet in the time he's gone back to. And he manages to do all of this just before the scroll runs out of writing, which if it did, he'd be stuck in the past. So he manages to just get back to the present and becomes the new Green Samurai Ranger. A full 8 or 9 years before Power Rangers actually decided to having a whole season themed around samurais, which was the post-Disney era when when Saban had bought the rights back to Power Rangers after just under a decade of them being owned by Disney. Maybe I'll cover samurai in the future, but if I do, it won't be for a long time. Maybe not even this year. It might have to be next year, because I've got some other Ranger series I want to cover first, like the 2 that followed this one. So after Cam gets back, he becomes the Green Samurai Ranger, has his own Zord and everything, and is pretty badass. The next storyline I want to talk about is quite a funny one. So this is one that's closer towards the end, and it's where Tori is surfing, because that's what she does. Shane is a skateboarder, Dustin is a motorcycle racer, and Tori enjoys surfing. She crashes into a big wave, and when she comes to, she ends up in an alternate timeline where Lothor and his goons are good and the Power Rangers are evil. An entire it's been a whole 180 flip where the villains are now the good guys and the good guys are now the villains. So Tori tries to figure out what the hell's going on, until she's suggested that maybe she'd try and get out of this nightmare she's in the way she came in. So she crashes into another wave, and she comes back too, and everything goes back to normal. But it's funny because It's just weird seeing all the villains. Like, Lothar is literally the mayor of Blue Bay Harbor in this alternate timeline. It's so strange to see how different the Blue Bay Harbor looks, with the Calzacs, who are normally the evil foot soldiers, being the helping members of society, and the Power Rangers being evil, destroying everything. It's such a weird time that when Tori tries to morph into her Ranger form, she can't. I found that a pretty funny episode, and I guess let's now get on to the ending, the finale. Lothar, after 36 episodes of build-up, Lothar and the generals he still has, that haven't been destroyed yet because they started destroying each other, come down to fight the Rangers themselves. Even Lothar joins in with his own Megazord. And this thing called the Abyss of Evil opens up, and every single monster the Rangers have fought throughout the season come back. But the Rangers deal with a lot of these monsters way quicker than they did in the actual episodes those monsters first appeared in. But then, so Lothar comes down and they fight them themselves. He even broke into Ninja Ops, almost destroyed it. Made it look like he destroyed Kanoi Sensei, but instead he actually turned Sensei back into a human instead of a guinea pig. But to be honest, the way the Rangers defeat Lothar is actually super anticlimactic in my opinion. Like, he shoots a blast at them and they just block it and back into him, and he falls into the evil of Abyss, which then collapses in on itself. Although something funny from the two-part finale, these two guys and a girl come to like become part of the Ninja Academy, but one of the guys is played by James Napier. I'll let you figure something about that out, and we'll cover that and in the next Ranger series we cover, I will then have another look. We'll come back to this. But the season ends with Shane, Tori and Dustin becoming the new teachers of the Wind Ninja Academy, and Cam becoming like the new sensei of the academy. Even Mara and Capri join the Ninja Academy after the defeat of Lothar. Blake and Hunter was even asked to become the new sensei of a teacher of the Thunder Ninja Academy, which was pretty cool. So the Rangers all graduate from their ninja academies and become teachers of those academies themselves. Quite a good scene. I really enjoyed Ninja Storm. I don't know where I'd rank it over the seasons of Power Rangers that I've watched all the way through so far, but I very much enjoyed my time with Ninja Storm. So if you guys have enjoyed this video, please be sure to leave a like, subscribe if you are new to the channel, and until we meet again, see you in the next one.